In the heart of Hollywood, where dreams are built and shattered every single day, one name has stood the test of time: Warner Brothers. But this isn't just a story about success. It's a story of risk, betrayal, innovation, and survival in an industry that never forgives weakness. It all began in 1923, but the roots go even deeper. Four brothers, Harry, Albert, Sam, and Jack, immigrants chasing opportunity, not fame, stepped into a world that barely existed. Movies were silent. The industry was fragile. But these brothers weren't ordinary dreamers. They were relentless. Starting from traveling film exhibitions across Ohio and Pennsylvania, they slowly built something bigger. By 1917, they had moved their operations to Hollywood, the land that would soon define cinema itself. And in 1923, they officially created Warner Brothers Pictures. Harry took control of business operations in New York. Albert handled finances. Sam and Jack, they ran the creative chaos in Hollywood. But success didn't come easy. By the mid-1920s, the company was struggling financially. Bankruptcy wasn't just a possibility, it was knocking on the door. And that's when everything changed. Sam Warner had an idea, a risky, almost unbelievable idea. What if movies could talk? At the time, it sounded ridiculous. Silent films dominated the world. No one believed audiences needed sound. But Sam pushed forward, convincing his brothers to invest in a new technology called Vitaphone. It was a gamble that would either destroy them or make history. In 1927, they released The Jazz Singer. And just like that, Hollywood changed forever. For the first time, modern audiences heard synchronized dialogue on screen. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't polished, but it was revolutionary. The era of silent films died almost overnight. Warner Brothers, once on the edge of collapse, suddenly became one of the most powerful studios in the world. But success came with a tragic cost. Sam Warner died just one day before the premiere of The Jazz Singer. He never got to see the revolution he created. And yet, his legacy carried the studio forward into a golden era. By the 1930s, Warner Brothers was producing nearly 100 films a year. They controlled hundreds of theaters across the United States and beyond. But unlike other studios focused on glamour, Warner Brothers built its identity on something darker, something raw: crime. Films like Little Caesar and The Public Enemy introduced audiences to a new kind of storytelling: gritty, intense, and brutally honest. Gangster films became their signature. Stars like James Cagney and Edward G. Robinson didn't just act, they defined an era. At the same time, Warner Brothers balanced this darkness with spectacle. Musicals, adventure films, and dramas brought variety to their growing empire. And then came something unexpected: animation, Looney Tunes. What started as a simple animated series soon became a cultural phenomenon. Minor characters like Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck turned Warner Brothers into more than just a film studio. It became a brand, a universe of storytelling. But the real test came in the 1940s and 1950s. This was the era of classics. Films like Casablanca and The Maltese Falcon didn't just entertain, they became timeless masterpieces. These weren't just movies. They were experiences that shaped global cinema. And while the big screen thrived, a new threat was rising: television. Most studios saw it as competition. Warner Brothers saw opportunity. In 1955, they launched Cheyenne, stepping into television when others hesitated. It was a bold move, and it paid off. Soon, shows like Maverick and 77 Sunset Strip followed, proving that Warner Brothers could dominate both film and television. But behind the scenes, tensions were growing. Leadership changes, internal conflicts and shifting industry dynamics began to reshape the company. In 1956, Jack Warner took full control as president after his brother stepped down. It marked the end of an era and the beginning of a new, uncertain future. By the late 1960s, Warner Brothers faced another transformation. The studio was sold and resold, eventually becoming part of a larger corporate structure. Under new ownership, it evolved into a diversified entertainment giant. Some feared this would dilute its identity. Instead, it made Warner Brothers stronger. The 1970s and 1980s brought a wave of bold, unforgettable films. From the horror of The Exorcist to the sci-fi brilliance of Blade Runner, Warner Brothers continued pushing boundaries. At the same time, blockbuster franchises like Superman and Lethal Weapon proved that the studio understood something crucial. Audiences didn't just want stories, they wanted universes. Television remained a powerhouse as well. With hits like The Dukes of Hazzard and the groundbreaking miniseries Roots, Warner Brothers showed it could adapt to changing tastes without losing its identity. Then came one of the biggest turning points in its history. In 1990, Warner Communications merged with Time Incorporated, forming Time Warner. It wasn't just a merger. It was the creation of a global entertainment empire. And with that power came even bigger successes. Films like Goodfellas, The Fugitive, and later Inception showcased a studio that could balance artistic brilliance with commercial success. Meanwhile, franchises like The Matrix and Harry Potter didn't just make money, they redefined modern cinema. On television, the impact was even greater. Shows like Friends and ER became cultural phenomena, dominating global audiences. Later, The Big Bang Theory continued that legacy, proving Warner Brothers understood the power of long-term storytelling. But the industry was changing again. Streaming. Digital platforms began to challenge traditional media. Once again, Warner Brothers faced a choice: adapt or fall behind. This led to the creation of HBO Max and the expansion of Warner Bros. Discovery, a massive entity combining television, film, and streaming under one roof. It was ambitious, it was risky, and it wasn't without controversy. Mergers, restructuring, and content shifts sparked debates across the industry. Some saw it as evolution, others saw it as chaos. But one thing was clear: Warner Brothers was still fighting to stay on top. And now in 2026, the story takes another dramatic turn: a potential merger with Paramount Skydance Corporation. If completed, it could reshape the entire entertainment landscape. Shareholders are being offered a massive premium. Boards have approved the deal unanimously. And the goal? To create an even more powerful global media force. But with every merger comes uncertainty. Will it strengthen Warner Brothers or dilute its legacy? No one knows for sure. What we do know is this: Warner Brothers has never been afraid of change. From silent films to talkies, from black and white screens to global streaming platforms, from near bankruptcy to billion-dollar empires. This is not just a company, it's a survivor, a risk-taker, a storyteller that has shaped nearly every era of modern entertainment. And as Hollywood continues to evolve, one question remains: is this the next chapter of greatness or the beginning of another fall? Because if history has taught us anything about Warner Brothers, it's this: the story is never over.